Greg Shoemaker, tristatefootball.com and queencityhigh.com. Here with Dan Scholz, the new head coach of the Oak Hills Highlanders. And Coach, congratulations. And first of all, I got to ask you, why Oak Hills?
Well, thank you very much. And I would tell you, it's very exciting to be at a school like this. And this is one of the best high schools in the city. And it's always been a dream of mine to be in this conference and to be able to coach at a big school like this. And very fortunate to get that opportunity to do it. So it's just been really fun to, and a dream come true, really. But it's just been exciting.
You were on the Colerain staff at one time. Have you heard from Coach Kerry Combs, and has he said anything about you taking the job here?
Oh yeah, I've talked to Coach Combs a couple times before the process, and then he was out recruiting so much. But I talk to him all the time and as much as I can. And anytime I struggle with anything, I would definitely give him a call. And he really feels like this was a good place, and he said that I was ready, and so I felt very confident when he told me that, because he's very important to me.
Looking forward, what's the #1 priority for this program moving ahead?
Oh, I think there's so many right now for me, just to get to know the kids and to get in and understand how everybody has worked, and to get to realize what they've done. But for me, as in every school, when you're playing this conference and you're playing in Region 4 and all that stuff, you know that you have guys that work really hard. And their players are working hard. So for me, it's just to build on what they've done and make sure that they're working as hard as I know that other teams are working, and we got to match that at least so that we can compete in the fall. So that's #1 for me, and getting to know the kids a little bit better and understand, other than just watching them on film. I know them by number. I'm starting to get their names down, but I know when I meet a kid, he tells me his name. I say, "What position you play?" And I say, "Oh, you're number this." Oh, okay. So that's kind of fun.
Looking forward, your staff, how's it rounding into shape, and what are you looking forward to still moving forward?
Well, we're talking to a lot of guys, and we're waiting for all the teaching openings to be able to fulfill, to see if we can get guys in. I've talked to several guys, and there's a few guys that were that were already here at the school and on the staff, and that I've talked with, and so we're progressing. I'm not a patient guy. I wish it was all the way done so we could be meeting and all that stuff as we're speaking here, but we're trying to make sure that we have the right openings and get everybody in so that they can commit to what we're doing and all those things. So it's coming together. I'm very excited. I think we're going to have a great staff, and we have guys that are coming in the weight room right now that are really good guys who are pushing the guys hard. So that's very good.
Now, your scheduling, your predecessor took Elder off the schedule. There's no Western Hills on the schedule. How would you perceive your non-conference schedule going in years to come?
Well, I think it depends on what we have open and what other guys have open. You always want to schedule so you can make the playoffs. And you also want to schedule so you're ready to play in the GMC, which is one of the toughest conferences, if not the toughest conference in the city. So all of those other teams that are out there, we're going to be hopefully working to be able to play with those guys. And if schedules will open up and there's different openings and it can fit, and we think it's a great fit for us at that time, then we'll talk about that. And basically right now we're just talking with the AD about that too. So.
Well, you got one of the best backs in the GMC coming back, DeMarco Ruffin. Now, you've ran the triple option at New Richmond when you were there. What are your plans on offense, and how are you going to use him most effectively?
Well, I think one of the most effective ways to use when you have a great back is to give him the ball. And so we're going to find ways to do that. Until we have our full offensive staff all the way rounded out, we're going to make sure that we have the ability to coach what we're trying to run, and we need to make sure that we have experts at that. But when you have great players, and there's a couple of different guys who I think when I watched film, I thought, man, they're really good players. So when you have a 1,000-yard rusher, and he was only a sophomore last year, and he's rushing off all those yards in the GMC and all those things, you want to be able to get a guy like that the ball and make sure that he has some space to work. So we're going to try to work on doing that. That's for sure.
Now we talked a little bit about the offense. How about the defensive side? Now, I know you guys lost a lot of big guys here at Oak Hills, especially on the offensive line. But what are you planning on running, and what kind of schemes? There's a lot of different looks that you get here in the GMC. Middletown with their pro style, but an option sort of quarterback. Obviously, Colerain the option, Lakota East the option, triple option, I should say. What do you do to defense those?
Well, we're going to try to be multiple. We'll probably be an odd front defense. very much what we ran at Coleraine and what we ran at New Richmond. But as again, I'm going to say the same thing to you: is you get our staff in there and make sure that we understand being able to coach the different schemes that we have, and we're going to make sure that it fits our kids. You know, half the kids, I only see half of them because the other half are playing other sports right now. So we have about 50 guys in the weight room right now, and I know who they are. But not being in the school right now and kind of going through those things, you got to be able to fit both your offense and your defensive scheme to your personnel. And so just as you talked about a great back, we have to know what kind of players we have. Are we going to have more defensive line type guys? Are we going to have more linebacker type guys? Or, you know, what do we have? And we're going to adjust our schemes to the personnel that we have that best fit. And we were not afraid to be multiple in that. So those are the types of things that we're going to have to meet as a staff once we get all the way together and figure all that out.
One last question before we let you go. Your oldest son, Danny, he moves on from New Richmond. He'll be playing at Malone College next year. But you had another son that's going to be a senior.
Yeah, Kevin.
Kevin, and then a sophomore and an 8th grader, I take it.
Yep.
What are their plans? Are they going to stay at New Richmond, or are they going to come over here to Oak Hills?
Well, the high school guys we're going to let decide. I'll probably have an apartment over here, and we're going to be able to go through and have a residence here that we can live in, and that way I'm not driving 40 minutes across town, you know, every night when we're getting done. But so the high school guys are going to decide, and that's how it's hard for them, but we're going to leave it up to them. And then with our middle school and elementary school kids, we're going to probably leave them over in New Richmond because they're doing so well right now, and if we find a chance to be able to, you know, we just want them to be successful, so we're going to make a commitment to that. But having Danny leave and go to Malone is going to be tough because I haven't coached the game, and I don't remember him being on the sidelines. And you know, it'll be hard if Kevin and Eric decide to stay, but that's up to them. And I'll be able to watch their games on video, I'm sure. And having Cooper being in the 8th grade, I think that'll be good for him too. And our daughter Morgan is going to stay in elementary school up there, so that's really good.
There you go, Dan Scholz, the new head coach of the Oak Hills Highlanders. I'm Greg Shoemaker for tristatefootball.com and QueenCityHigh.com.